Good afternoon, welcome back to the Proving Grounds. Today we have a review of the JTS AR-12. There's been a lot of negative reviews about this thing online, and we're going to find out why. We're going to run it. So before we get to that, this was $225 on sale. This thing. It's a 12 gauge. It takes any Remington choke will thread into the end of this. It comes with a protector, but any Remington choke will go into the end of it. It's up to 3-inch. We'll not shoot the 3.5s, but we got some 2 3/4 we're going to put through it today. We're going to start with the bird shot. But what I think is interesting about this weapon is, and it's clear, it has a 4-stage gas setting in the gas block, because it's built similar to an AK-47. It's a gas-operated weapon, however, there's a gas block here. There's a piston that runs the top length of this, not a gas tube. A standard AR-15 or M16 or anything like that has a gas tube that runs the block. When the round passes past that, the gas that's built up behind it travels down through that tube into the top of the bolt, and it blows the bolt back. That causes the chamber to get pretty gunked up after time. The difference in the AK-47 is it don't have the tube, it has a block and a piston that runs up here that goes in and out of the sleeve. Now this has 4 gas settings, almost like a 240 Golf would in the military, 240 Bravo these days. The reason for that is that rod only has so much durability, and there's so much versatility in shotgun ammunition. Okay, so if you're using low brass bird shot, the pressure in that chamber is substantially less than if you're using a 3-inch Magnum slug. This is your low brass bird shot. This is for mostly target, right? You can use that to shoot clays. That's what we're going to start off with. So this has a 0 setting, which the bolt will not operate. The gas block is locked, but you can fire a big old slug through it, whatever you want to do. It's essentially a single shot. Then you go to 1, 2, and 3. 1 would be for your big slugs, heavy Magnum shells. 2 would be a blend, like a high brass buckshot or a high brass bird shot. 3 is wide open. It's for low brass bird shot or whatever. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and it's just you push this and turn it. You can set it for whatever setting you desire. I really like that, and we're going to see. I'm going to set it on 2, and I'm just going to run it with some bird shot. Because a lot of these AR-12s, AK-12s, they don't like to run low brass. So we're going to set it midway. We're going to see if it'll run this low brass. If it'll run the low brass, it'll run the high brass. Everybody understands that. There's more pressure, more velocity, more weight in the shot, creates more gas. So if it'll run the low brass on a 2, it'll definitely run it on a 3. And if it'll run it on a 2, then the buckshot will run and the slug will run, and so on. So for $225 to $250, you can buy this weapon. Now it is made in China. It's heavy. It's very heavy. It has an M-lock forward, which I like. It has a buffer spring in it, so it absorbs some of that recoil out of the 12 gauge. Has a soft butt pad on it, and it has, I mean, you can literally, because of the M-lock, you can put in whatever attachment you want. It comes with flip-up sights, right? I don't like them, so I put the Vortex AR Spark red dot optic on it. So just to make it clear, I spent more on the optic than I did on the rifle, on the shotgun. So yeah, I'm ass backwards like that. I don't really care. So here's the magazine release here. Seems pretty easy to use. It locks back when it's empty, but one of the big problems I've seen with it is when you release the bolt forward and it don't have an empty magazine in it, you can't lock it back with the lever. But it will release. The bolt release mechanism will work. Fire safe, just like a standard AR-15. Yeah. It's a heavy weapon. It's like holding a piece of artillery in your hand. So let's see how it'll run. I got a magazine here loaded up with 5, well, that one's actually empty. I got another one over here with 5 rounds in it. We're gonna see how this thing runs. Here's how it looks. I mean, those 12 gauge rounds. Low brass bird shot, target rounds. We'll shove them in here. Went just fine. Chambered around just fine. Magazine port's open already. Spark's already fired up. I'm just gonna dust some rounds down range real quick. All right, so that's 5 rounds. Went just fine. Put it back on safe here. Now, Magazine dump just fine. Mechanism locked to the back. Now, I'm going to show y'all something that I want you to see. When I was loading this magazine up, and I think this is very important that you guys see this. When you load this magazine, you can't just shove them in the top because there's a plate here. You have to push it in and then push back. Now, a lot of people just try to do this with a high brass. When you shove this in here and try to go back, it can get caught on that brass there. So what's helpful sometimes is to push this one down and go ahead and insert your next one on top of it. So that makes it work really well. It's just, you know, some hinky stuff about cheap guns. So there's 5 rounds right there. Now 5 plus 1 will give you 6. Of course, these are plastic magazines, but nothing on this rifle is plastic except the buttstock, and that's like feels really heavy rubberized plastic. So we're going to insert this, and this time I'm going to have my cameraman focus on the target down there, and we're going to see what kind of devastation this birdshot round will do from this close. 5 rounds in a row. Alright, so yeah, it runs fine. So when I first started to get it out, I had noticed the high brass. Some of the rounds I was running through it, when they would come out, the high brass would jam on this rail in here. There's a rail. This is soft metal. It's made in China. Probably pot metal, truthfully, truth be known. So what I did is I took the Dremel with a polishing blade where it was meeting right up here on the top. You can see it. I'll show you really up close. Right up here on the top where that high brass was coming out of the ejector, the bolt would go forward and that brass would dig into that metal. So what I did is I just took a Dremel with a polishing wheel and I polished right here. And I'm talking not much material removal at all. And I have had 0 malfunctions since I did that. I think it's just a matter of a millimeter that had to be removed and polished. Other than that, runs well. You know, for $250, and like I said, it's got a lot of bad stink on the internet. It's even got, you know, a loop stock adapter here so you can hang it. For $250 with the forward assist, the ejection port cover, bolt lock, M-lock stock, adaptable Remington chokes, shoots anything from low brass birdshot all the way up to high brass 3-inch Magnum slugs. And those do hit you. I'm not gonna lie. When those hit you in the shoulder, you'll know it. Even with the buffer too, but it's a lot better. So if I was to take a young one out or a female that is not comfortable with a high recoil round for turkey hunting, this would be an option, because you could use that 2 3/4 or 3-inch Magnum turkey load with that buffer, and it's not going to blast you. I mean, it's not going to blast you. Obviously, the AR Spark optics, excellent. It's a lower end of the high end red dot optics, but I enjoy it, and it's always worked fine. For $250, I'm sorry, Brandon Herrera's wrong. Guy's just wrong. It runs great. Just a little love and care, just like any other gun you get. It's got a break-in phase. I've hit things with buckshot with it so far. I've hit things with slugs in it. I've had 0 problems since I did that. It comes apart really easy like an AK. Takes no additional tools. Breaks down just like an AR-15 does. You pull that bolt forward, pull this pin out, and it breaks down shotgun style just like an AR-15. There's your buffer. There's your hammer, same as an AR. Everything's close to similar to an AR. I like it. Value, solid 8, 8.5, maybe even 9 out of 10 value. It's fun. You get to blow stuff up with it. Stuff with buckshot just turns into nothing. You hit it, blows all the pieces. It's fun. It's gratifying instantly. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, every day, all day. So, yeah, that's about it. As always, thank you for watching The Proving Grounds. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment. Spread it around a little bit. We're a small veteran-run channel trying to make a little difference in the world. Guns are a tool, just like a shovel, a hammer, or anything else. They're only as dangerous as the activity you perform with it. Treat each other with love. Treat each other with respect. Be good to one another. Thank you for watching. Until next time.